Hey, it's Mark here helping you to understand English grammar. We're in chapter 4 now, and in chapter 4 we're going to learn patterns 11 to 20. No, I'm just kidding. It's a joke. Guess what? We're finished with the sentence patterns. There's only 10 of them. There are only 10 sentence patterns. There are some other types of sentences that we'll get to in a different video, but you're finished with the sentence patterns. From here on out, you'll be seeing them again and again, however, so if you're still a little fuzzy on those, you're going to find yourself seeing them much easier as we go. Now let's take a look at this. We're in chapter 4, which is actually going to focus on the 11-year-old boy of the sentence, the nerve center, the energy part of the sentence, the place where everything is happening in the sentence. It is called the verb, and we're expanding the main verb. I'm here with Kenny again, my 11-year-old boy. So Kenny, just to recap, what pattern is this one?
Pattern 3.
Why do you say that?
Because there's a be verb.
Okay, so guess what? Let's try and diagram it like you say. What's the subject?
The boy.
Okay, the boy. Guess what though? You're wrong.
What do you mean?
Well, think about what the boy's doing. If it's a pattern 3, we'd have the boy is well, let's see, a student. How's that? That would be a pattern 3, right? The boy is a student, noun phrase 1, noun phrase 1. What is the boy?
He is a student.
Yeah, and this one he is, right? But how about your sentence?
He's running.
Okay, so what do you think the real main verb is?
Running.
All right, that's right. So this is where we're headed in chapter 4, running. The boy is running. Now, didn't I say every time you see a be verb, it must be a pattern 1, 2, or 3?
Yes.
What was I doing?
You lied.
I was lying to you guys, yeah. No, every time you see a be verb, it is definitely a pattern 1, 2, or 3, unless you see this. If there's an ing, the be is doing something else. It's not the main verb. It's called the auxiliary verb. It's a type of verb that is helping your main verb around. Now, Kenny, let's take a look at this sentence. Can you read that out for me?
My wife may have been planning on vacation.
Now, this is one of the beautiful things about the English language, is that when we want to get more sophisticated about whether something's been done or not, or whether it's a possibility or a certainty, or whether it's actually happening now, if you're taking Spanish or French, you'd have to learn 6 different words every single time you wanted to express one of those things. But what do we have here in the English language? Well, we have these neat little things called auxiliaries, and they help us to get more sophisticated about what we're saying with the verb. It looks like a big giant mouthful, but just like with the prepositional phrases and some of the other things you looked at, what you're trying to do is chunk off little pieces of the sentence and then start to figure out what the whole thing is doing. Now, even Kenny, who has never been in chapter 4 yet, should probably be able to do this. Subject.
The wife.
The wife. My wife. Now, can you figure out what she's doing, what's going on here?
She may have been planning.
Oh! What did you say?
May have been planning.
All right, so this whole thing, this whole big mouthful is your verb. The whole thing is there. It all goes on your verb spot in your diagram, because that's the verb. And was she planning something?
Yeah, the vacation.
Okay, so that's a pattern. Hello?
I don't.
Hello? How many noun phrases do you have? 1, 2. So it's a pattern.
7.
Thank you. All right, so when you come across these big long strings of stuff up here, don't go crazy, don't freak out. That whole thing is going to be a verb because you have, this is called the modal auxiliary, then you have the word have is acting like an auxiliary for your perfect tense, and then you have your be acting like an auxiliary to show you that some stuff's going on. All right, we'll stop right there, but we'll get into detail more about how to start naming these things and recognizing them. But as you see, it's not pattern 11, 12, 13. It's still pattern 7, but there's more happening in the verb slot here. Thank you.